All right, welcome back. So this video is specifically for and only really for Roland FA76 owners. So this is the actual first Fantom workstation that was ever released, and it was kind of an afterthought, really, from Roland. But it was, in typical Roland fashion, what they did is they just sort of took the guts from the Legacy JV series and of course the XV5080 and they put them in a blender, and this is what came out. And this is by no means anything super special, but it's pretty unique in a sense because it's really the only actual XV5080 synth action weighted workstation that they based off the XV5080 engine. Now, this because it's really not a review of the specific unit, but what I do have to say is that something that I had been looking for years and years. And it became more noticeable when I got rid of my XV5080 and all the stuff that I used to have. And then I had just this alone. And so, even though it's got the XV engine in it, what it doesn't have is it does not have the actual presets that you had in the XV5080, which is bank A through um, G. Or it's actually um, H, actually. Technically, it's H. So, if you look at the manual, there's actually 8 banks on here. Matter of fact, they actually screwed up on the literature where they count 2 bank G's for some reason. It doesn't make any sense, um, but kind of keep this around because in case I got to get to a sound, I just want to be able to quickly get into it. And so what I did is I took the presets from a friend of mine's XV5050, which is basically a 5080. And what Roland has, which most people don't use, I know they don't, because I didn't use it, is what they call an internal bulk transfer. So it's to take a ROM bank, which you would never typically think of doing anyway, and taking that ROM bank and sending that full ROM bank into the user bank. All right, and then from that point, you can take the utility function from your unit. It's in the JV series and it's also in the XV series models, and you can send that whole user bank out to a preset or save it to a disk like this, such as like this, and you can just load it in. Okay, and that's what I had done, and I've got the all the banks A through H, I guess, and I'll leave a link so that you can download them. Now, typically you wouldn't download them unless, again, you have an FA76, and then the last bank, H, if you have an XV3080, because they cut off one bank. I don't know why, but they did. So you don't actually have the full presets as you normally likely would. So on the XV3080, it's a little bit more straightforward. You just put it on a little card, and that last bank will be accessed from the card. Now, this doesn't have that. Again, this has only 5 banks of specially procured sounds that Roland did for this specific unit, but you might want to get that certain sound that was in the 5080, which you cannot get, by the way. And so I scoured the earth looking for those presets, and no one, Don Solaris, no one's actually uploaded those, and I understand why. There's a great reason as to why, as explained earlier. So I'm going to leave the link below. You can download those sounds as you may. If you got an FA76, this is a very, very specialized video. And then from there, you can use the utility function, which you put the disk in there of whatever bank you want to load. And it's like a very specific thing, though. And then you go into whatever banks. I'll go into here. And when I hit load, instead of hitting execute, I'll hit the data transfer, which is basically accessing the library from that disk that I have saved. And then you go find out like what sound you want. And you just go load it in whatever slot you want. Let's just say right here. Okay. So in slot, and that slot is this sound, D50 Rhodes. And these are again, presets from the actual XV series. Okay, so anyway, leave any questions or comments. And again, I'm going to title this as FA76 users only because it's a very specific video. But this should help you out there if you're looking for those XV5080 presets and you want to load them in here. You can just download them. Anyway, till next time, peace out.